Perception is reality. When you perceive your environment dull and uninspiring, that soon becomes your reality. Bringing excitement and inspiration should become your priority. You need to incorporate creativity, design, and inspiration to your atmosphere. Let the genius of internationally acclaimed Isaac Algavi create breathtaking art.
Some people see a painting and say, that's art. Others judge art by sculpture, but for me, the image in my mind are never just one way. I take painting, sculpture, and every art form and create form of my own that's larger than life.
Internationally known award-winning artist Isaac Algavi has created his own style by literally combining all the techniques available in the art world. His three-dimensional murals and sculptures include everything from tile to mosaics to glass etching, metal embossing, and lighting effects, bringing class and beauty to all rooms touched by Algavi. His one-of-a-kind art becomes the focal point of conversation.
People who come in who've never seen his work before are usually sitting there with their mouths open for at least a full half a minute, really taking in the depth and breadth of the artwork that he's done.
And who wouldn't? Inspired by the great masters, Algavi painstakingly painted the ceiling of the Ramada Aventura Resort with a beautiful sunset scene. Three-dimensional abstract designs bring beauty to the walls of the El Dorado Towers in Aventura. At the towers, Algavi combines stunning mosaics and embossment techniques.
Well, I watched it from day one when he first put up the first piece on there, and I watched it grow, and the more he made it, the better I loved it. I watched it go in both lobbies, and I never stop enjoying this. Every time I come down, I take another look and another look. It's a source of continuous enjoyment and pleasure to see such a work of art in our lobby.
The lobby of the Regency Square Center incorporates a soft pastel motif. The Diplomat Resort in Hallandale stands apart with its tropical mural. And here, at the lakes of Emerald Hills and Hollywood, artistically placed lighting effects illuminate this three-dimensional mosaic of a Jerusalem hillside. So what thoughts go into creating a personalized masterpiece?
In my mind, I can see where everything goes. And by speaking to a manager of a hotel or the owner of a home, I can get into the mind and soul and create something that excites them throughout their life.
That's exactly what happened at the Danzig residence in Weston, where this three-dimensional abstract boasts a free-form mosaic with watercolors.
See, being a stand-up comic, let me tell you the truth, I get more laughs for this artwork from my whole comedy. So I'm so shocked, but Itzik, let me tell you the truth now. Itzik did such a great job. He created the right mood for this penthouse. Let's face it, we spent a lot of money here, and it was very important to have a wall that looks terrific. So if I sound a little bit like Jackie Mason, forgive me. However, this is the greatest work I've ever seen in my life. All the credit to Itzik Algavi.
The same applies to this incredible abstract mosaic in a Williams Island penthouse and this commissioned work of a Mediterranean ocean scene. And keep your eyes open. Algavi's work may soon be the newest trend on South Florida's famous South Beach, where a Mediterranean scene already lights up Monty's restaurant and captivates its patrons. From glitz and glamour to recreations of the Golden Land of Israel, Algavi's wide-ranging scope melds his life experience into his uplifting creations.
In 1989, I was honored to paint the leading Sephardic mystical Rabbi Kaduri visiting Mexico City. After that, I met other Jewish notables like Lubavitcher Rebbe, and truly I felt inspired and blessed to have the gift of art. And perhaps that is why it's so easy for me to recreate vision of Israel and Jewish history.
At Beth Israel in Miami Beach, a wall in need of Isaac's special touch was transformed into a beautiful work of art. At the Young Israel of Greater Miami, one of Florida's largest Orthodox congregations, stone, mosaic, and attention to detail amazingly capture the holiness of the Western Wall.
I remember when Mr. Algavi was working on this, and he was working behind closed doors. Of course, no one knew what was going on, or put it this way, no one was allowed to come. And then when there was an initiation, or what you would call a Chanukas Habayis, a dedication, and the whole front area was covered by a cloth. And at a certain time, the cloth was removed at the opportune moment. Everyone stood up, gasped, and burst into spontaneous applause. They never had seen anything like it in any congregation of the world. By all means, you'll find congregations that are more traditional. You'll find congregations with a, shall we say, an unusual or usual motive, but you will not find this motive in any congregation in the world. And when the people saw it for the very first time, again, they stood up. There was a moment of silence. People couldn't believe what they saw, and then they burst into spontaneous applause. And whenever a stranger walks into the shul, they just look and just shake their heads in appreciation and amazement. And when people come into the shul for the very first time from out of town, and I show them the shul, the first thing I show them are the works or the work of Yitzchak Algavi. And not just this, but the pillars that you see adorning the shul. And to my left, the windows with the symbolism of the 12 tribes of Israel. And the wall on the left, which represents the wall surrounding Jerusalem. Everything that Mr. Algavi has done has somehow brought out what we Jewish people consider to be sacred and holy. And every day that I walk in, and I look at the bima, and I look at the Aron Kodesh, and Aron Kodesh means the Holy Ark, and I look at the windows here, and I look at the receptacle where the Torah is kept, you just can't, you never cease to have enjoyment, the enjoyment of the eye as you walk in. And the unusual thing about Mr. Algavi is he's always thinking of ways to improve, and we say to ourselves, he just can't improve, and yet he always seems to do it, and always seems to find another method of beautifying and uplifting the synagogue. And Mr. Algavi is always aspiring to greater heights, and surprisingly, he always achieves them.
Other three-dimensional representations of Jerusalem shine on the walls of Sha'arei Ezra in Miami Beach, and the Young Israel of Sunny Isles, and so do the stained glass window scenes of the 12 tribes. A three-dimensional tree of life grows at the California Club Synagogue. Isaac Algavi was also the proud recipient of the National Young Israel Award, presented at the Sheraton Hotel in New York City.
the Young Israel of Miami, Florida Synagogue Innovations Award, in the spirit of Bezalel, whose talent was the essential ingredient to building the Mishkan. Isaac Algavi, an artist of rare ability, has created beautiful expressions of spiritual devotion for Young Israel of Greater Miami, Florida. He designed and personally built an Aron Kodesh, stunning stained glass windows, a mechitza, and bima, and a magnificent Etz Chaim. He is certainly an exemplary recipient of the Synagogue Innovations Award by virtue of both his great talent and his devotion to the synagogue and his community.
The premiere of Algavi's newest creation, the Tree of Life, which incorporates flowing water, a symbol of life, was greeted with a standing ovation. And a mural of Jerusalem is painted at Jerusalem's restaurant in Hollywood. And hey, check this out. Who says an artist can't have fun? Light-hearted cartoons and tropical scenes color the walls of Sarah's restaurant. Isaac Algavi was featured on NBC's Live at 11. During this interview, Isaac touches upon his earlier works and influences. While in the military, the Sinai Desert influenced a more surrealistic approach. Samples of his fine art were also presented throughout the interview.
I'm sure that there have been a lot of people along the way who've told you, go out and get a real job.
See,
What keeps you doing this?
when you see, like, if you get a gift from God, you have to keep it. And I think, God willing, one day I can get there. And so far, I do the best. And
Well, we certainly are blessed with your artwork throughout South Florida, and I am sure that those who have seen your work believe that you have already been given a gift from God.
Thank you very
Algavi,
much.
thank you very much for being with
thank
us
you,
this morning
Susan.
live
Thank
at
you very
11.
much.
Isaac Algavi has been blessed with a unique gift. His next creation can be yours.